dentistry is such a amazing profession because it really is a craft here to go in every single day. And apart from being mechanistic in a way where you're doing the same thing over and over again, once you start doing more and more of it, the hunger becomes artistic in the gray area where it's you go in and...
I think really, if you can't tell already, I think we're extremely passionate about dentistry. And, I think when you're passionate about something, you're passionate about sharing that infectious enthusiasm for, the topic at hand. I think for us as well, I guess we're also very passionate about making sure that dentistry is executed to a high standard. And, we can only see so many patients in a day. So I guess a big goal for us has always been the fact that we want to empower young dentists to do better and to, instill them with the appropriate philosophy so that, everyone wins. Obviously patients are going to end up with much better oral health outcomes.
As corny as it sounds, vision from all aspects, what you see with your eyes, but what you see with your mind, I think is just as important. And a great clinician sees what an average clinician just can't see.
Hi, my name is Yohan Choi. I've been a dentist now for 11 years. I have a special interest in aesthetic and restorative dentistry. My journey has taken me to London and the Choi Centre in Seattle for my postgraduate training, and I'm very passionate about ethical, minimally invasive dentistry.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bharat Agrawal. I'm a general dentist from Australia with a special interest in aesthetic and restorative dentistry. I've been a business owner for 15 years, a clinician in practice, and also mentor and educator. My passion for aesthetic and restorative dentistry and excellence in our field has taken me to London to complete my master's in aesthetic dentistry, and I'm passionate about minimally invasive, ethical aesthetic dentistry.
So we first met actually online, and Bharat was posting cases in the dental forums back in the day, and I was really impressed with his attention to detail and how meticulous he was with his dentistry. And as a younger dentist at the time, I was looking up to role models, I was looking up to mentors and people I could call colleagues and eventually friends as well now. And so basically at that time, I reached out to Bharat, asking for some advice with regards to, where I should go for some postgraduate training or what sort of things I should be doing to improve myself as a dentist.
And I think it's interesting to hear that because I never really saw my role in your career as a mentor. For me, first and foremost, you're always a friend. And I think it was nice to meet people that would sort of feel the same way about dentistry as I did. And we sort of connected over our passion for that, being able to sort of share cases and even non-clinically, some of the struggles that we sort of go through as clinicians day to day in practice. So I've learned as much from you as, I think you've learned from me. And I think we've really grown together over the last, 10 years of friendship. One of my biggest clinical drivers is obviously excellence. And I think dentistry is such an amazing profession because it really is a craft here to go in every single day. And apart from being mechanistic in a way where you're doing the same thing over and over again, once you start doing more and more of it, the hunger becomes the artistic and the gray area where it's you go in and not only is your veneer preparation as perfect as it can be, it's about how does that single tooth fit into the overall flow of that patient. And for me, it just becomes this constant hunger and pursuit of elevating everything that we do and doing it to the best level that we possibly can. And dentistry really allows you to do that. There's never perfect. And I think that's what makes it so amazing is that every single day you get to go and try and be more perfect in essence.
I think what drives me is, very similar to Bharat in many respects. I think one big factor is always that, so what resonates with me is this marginal gains concept, which is, where you're trying to be 1% better every day. And I think that keeps things super interesting. I think the other thing that also drives me is that despite that a lot of what we do now is probably more complex and might be considered to be, fancy when it comes to dentistry. I guess what I really love about dentistry is that no matter how mundane certain aspects of dentistry might be to some people, I'm very passionate about making sure that whatever I do, I'm doing it in the best interest of the patients to the highest quality.
This is going to sound really corny, but vision for sure. And it's not in the literal sense. The literal sense makes a big difference. You need to be able to see what you're doing, see what you're diagnosing. But realistically, when it comes to vision, it's something that's bigger than just being able to see with your eyes. I think we both believe in this concept of the eye can't see what the mind doesn't know, and training that mind to be able to visualize things and how they're in harmony and balance. And where we can make little changes to our patients to have, greater gains, when it comes to how they feel about their teeth and also their appearance as well. So as corny as it sounds, vision from all aspects, what you see with your eyes, but what you see with your mind, I think is just as important. And a great clinician sees what an average clinician just can't see, even though they can,
I think the other thing is a great clinician is going to have purpose. And I think in this day and age, as a dentist, it can be quite easy to be swayed and lose that genuine purpose of why we're doing what we're doing. I think at the end of the day, I know some people don't classify as real doctors, but, I do think that a lot of us have taken the Hippocratic Oath and we graduate and become dentists wanting to genuinely improve our patients' health. And I think what makes an exceptional clinician exceptional is someone who never loses that purpose and is genuinely committed to ensuring that their patients achieve the best outcomes.
So we first got into teaching really just serendipitously. I think it wasn't something that we set out to go and do, but we were sharing a lot of stuff online and sharing with other clinicians, and we inadvertently became mentors to a lot of people. And eventually what happened is we decided to formalize a lot of that mentoring, and for us it became a pathway for us to share our message and our philosophy and where we sort of thought we wanted to see dentistry go. And I think through education we better come up with a system and protocols to systemize things to make it simpler, easier, more predictable for younger clinicians to be able to apply some of the stuff that we've learned from our experience, some of the things that we've learned from our education journeys in their own practices. And for us, really it comes back to then being able to reach more patients, to be able to deliver our message and our philosophy to as many people as we possibly can.
Yeah, so because I think really, if you can't tell already, I think we're extremely passionate about dentistry. And, I think when you're passionate about something, you're passionate about sharing that infectious enthusiasm for, the topic at hand. I think for us as well, I guess we're also very passionate about making sure that dentistry is executed to a high standard. And, we can only see so many patients in a day. So I guess a big goal for us has always been the fact that we want to empower young dentists to do better and to, instill them with the appropriate philosophy so that, everyone wins. Obviously patients are going to end up with much better oral health outcomes.
Probably the best advice I can give a young clinician is to invest in yourself. And when it comes to making that investment, it's going to be about having the right gear. For starters, you need to have great loupes so you can see. You need to have a camera so you can take photos of the work that you're doing so you can grow and evolve that way. But also investing in training and education. I think a lot of this stuff is not innate to us. We're not born with this, and no one's born a great clinician. You have to spend the time to learn and educate yourself, invest in great mentors, and from there, really develop, a love and passion for what we do.
Yeah, well, I think, you hit the nail on the head. I think, and some of our mentors have said in the past that, and some of them were genuinely, in my eyes, talented, but a lot of them don't attribute the success to talent, right? A lot of them will say that 99% of their success is attributed to hard work and perseverance, and it's only 1% that might be attributed to actual talent itself. And I think I can resonate with that because I don't particularly feel that I'm the most talented or naturally gifted. You may be, right? But I think, I think hard work is the most important thing. And then I guess the other thing is making sure that you're surrounded by, people who hold themselves to the same standard, who, have the same philosophy. And I think that's easier than ever in this day and age now, because despite the fact that you might not be geographically close, I think what social media allows us to do is connect with people who are truly like-minded and share the same passion for dentistry.
Yeah, absolutely. I chose Bryant Dental because they're slick, they're lightweight, they look good, they feel good, and most of all, they work really, really well. For me, chasing magnification has always been important. Every time I inch up from my 2 times my 3.2s to my 5s, my 7s, it's always been that hunger to get more, to be able to see more and to do more. And with these, they're precise, they're simple, they look nice, and I can do great dentistry with them. They just work really, really well.
After many years of using many different other types of loupes, I think I've used most brands on the market. Now, I guess at the core of it all, I'm a firm believer in that if you want to do good dentistry, you have to use the tools that you use have to be good, right? And in that respect, after a big search in terms of what loupe is most appropriate for me, I've decided that Bryant Dental gave me something that was sleek, that looked nice, but ultimately I think the quality speaks for itself. because a lot of us are now, very dependent on magnification in our daily workflow. Because I know, me myself, if something happened to my Loupes, I would probably have to cancel my day. For me, having quick after service is super important. And with Bryant Dental, and now that they have a local Australian manufacturing facility as well, it means that if I have an issue, they can rectify it very quickly.